What up, y'all? It's Caesar Love, S-E-N-L-U-V, that's who I be. And welcome to another episode of the Money Healing Monologues. Over here at the Money Healing Monologues, I like to open up a space to speak about the development of Black wealth, health, and excellence. So join me every single Monday where I like to reiterate, reteach, and dissect some shit that I just think us as a Black community should speak about. And of course, the purpose of this is to open up a conversation. So please feel free to comment down below. Let me know your thoughts. If you agree with me, if you disagree with me, if I ruffled some feathers, whatever the case may be, let me know what's tea. Today, on episode 28 of the Money Healing Monologues, we are going to be speaking about multitasking plus freedom. I feel like this concept, multitasking, this action, can be explained in so many different facets of our life. Like in social settings, we multitask when we're, building our lifestyle. This is going to be more of a broad, I want to say, explanation, but also specifying it to exactly what this podcast is about, which is about money healing. So we're talking about, the business and creative collective and how we can heal and shift our mindsets in order for the wealth, prosperity, and happiness to flow easily into our lives. You know what I'm saying? So I think that, we're going to get into it. I think the questions that I asked myself today, because that's really what I be doing when as crazy as that might sound, I don't think it should sound crazy though, because like if you don't ask yourself questions, it's like, bro, who are you getting your advice from? Like, I'm weak. Like, I'm the realest nigga I know. Yeah, the questions that I asked myself today are very, very, very like they was dead buzzing in my brain. I was like, damn, she's talking. What the fuck? As you know, and if you don't, I like to go down who, what, where, when, why, and how format. And the how will always be a question that is down below in the description box if you're listening in on YouTube, and in the question box if you're listening in on Spotify, Anchor, or Apple Podcasts. Starting me off with my who, I asked who experiences this action. So who experiences this action of multitasking? And like I said, we're speaking more in the terms of having so much on your plate, maybe so many different just tasks in general, for work, and then you got shit to do for home, and all these things that you have to do, using it to measure how much freedom we actually have. Thank you, Spirit. Using the idea of multitasking to measure the amount of freedom that you actually have in this lifetime. My question was, who experiences this action? And I said, everyone, of course. The way that we go about doing and thinking things because of the way that the workforce is set up specifically, I said. The way that we work and the way that we have become accustomed to working has been so embedded in our culture, since the early days, because at the end of the day, things had to get done in order to get us where we are today. There's a lot that has to go into maintaining this society, and people, essential workers, they have done such a great job of doing what it do in order to get us where we are today. But like I said, and the point of this podcast and why I'm even here is duality. Duality is in everything, and I think that this same exact system that we've become accustomed to, that people have worked so hard in, is and was created to keep us more heavy and less free, so we can, one, move at a slower pace and focus our attention on the things that will keep the system, and I want to say capitalism. I blame everything on capitalism. But to keep this system running how it needs to run in order to keep the hierarchy that we have. Does that make sense? Like the way that the world is set up and why some people have it better than so many other people, and it's even possible to have people that, just literally don't have any resources to get anything, any of the basic necessities that is needed to live, even food. The reason that this society has manifested is because of this workforce. The same workforce that we've become accustomed to is the reason why I feel like, in my opinion, most people lack the freedom that I feel like everybody deserves. Does this make sense? Bringing me into my what, I asked, what is the focus and purpose of this action? So multitasking, and like I said, multitasking in the aspect of us having all of these different things on our plate, having all these different tasks to do, not only in our work life, especially in our work life, but not only in our work life, but also our personal lives. Multitasking gives us the ability to maintain the different aspects on our lives externally, and it allows us to maintain our mind, body, and soul internally. So like it's amazing how the human body works, how the human mind works, and how we have the ability to even maintain all of these different things that we call in everyday life. You feel me? And I think that going back to my who, like the way that this workforce is set up is, in my opinion, to have us focusing on the wrong things. Like have us focusing on things that don't bring us or fulfill us with the things that we actually need in order to grow as a person, because this society isn't, focused on us growing as a person, which is why it's, you go to school, you do this, you know what I'm saying? You go to college, you get a job after that one job, and you work until you're 60, 65, 70, and then you retire and then you die. You know what I'm saying? They already have that one line path laid out for you. You feel me? When you come into this society, that's how it was structured. That's how it was built in order to keep up I like to say, the dystopia that they've created for themselves. Moving me into my where, I asked, where exactly is this sewn into the lifestyle we've become accustomed to? So like I was saying, the way that this workforce was set up was intentional in order to keep us complacent in the capitalistic, patriarchal, hyper-individualistic society. That is my favorite fucking sentence. I'm gonna put that on a shirt, bro. Mother Nature. Her depth is a reflection of us. Multitasking, and this is to bring multitasking in like a better light, and how it can be, how we can transmute this energy, because I feel like that's what it's all about. You know what I mean? We can accept the type of energy that, we've become accustomed to, but we have to make the steps and take the steps in order to transmute that energy so that it's more fulfilling for this lifetime. You know what I'm saying? Like, that's what it's all about. It's about really just shifting that mindset, shifting that perspective, transmuting that energy from what it was to what is better. You feel me? The many different aspects of her. You know what I'm saying? She got plants, she got people, she got animals, she got insects, she got all this different type of shit. Like, she's wildin'. You know what I mean? There's so many beautiful things that are in Mother Nature that are literally reflections of us. Like, she is a reflection of us. So I think when we think about transmuting this energy from, focusing in on what this capitalistic system wants us to focus on, and has had us focusing on for the majority of people's lives, all of some people's lives that have already passed, may they rest in peace. You know what I'm saying? Like, this is what taking the steps to, in my opinion, shifting and transmuting this energy is going to look like, because multitasking isn't a bad thing. And like I said, using the multitasking to measure your freedom, everything can feel free if you intentionally go into the things that you're doing. If you actually take the time to look and be like, okay, do I really fuck with this? Do I really want to do this? Does this really serve me? You know what I'm saying? Like, you have to be intentional with shit like that. Moving me into my when, I asked, when does multitasking become unattainable? When is multitasking, or like just handling the action of multitasking, handling all these different tasks that you have to do, when does that become unattainable? When does that become hard for individuals? And I said, when you stay stuck, when you stop learning, when you're not changing. When things are not changing in your life, that is a big indicator that you are stuck and you're complacent. You know what I'm saying? And at that point, it's something that you're doing internally, because God is going to change your life however it needs to change, regardless. You know what I'm saying? Like, God is going to maneuver your life however she needs to maneuver it in order for you to understand the things you need to understand, so that you can get to the next level of your life where you need to be. So you have no control over, your external, but your internal, you can choose to stay the same for the rest of your life, whether that be unconscious or conscious. you just simply will not have the capacity to even try to comprehend different aspects of things, or not even different aspects, different perspective of the same aspects of your own life. Because like I said, if we're all reflections, if Mother Nature is a reflection, it's evident that we need to learn from each other and accept different ways of living. And in transmuting this multitasking energy from what we've always known, what we've become accustomed to, means getting comfortable with something different and something new. And I wonder what that looks like for everyone here that's listening to this. And of course, moving into my why focus on this. Why? If it hasn't been obvious already, change is good. Let's shift together. Let's shift as one. You know what I mean? I think that people just haven't been comfortable with change, and that's okay. And we're all just learning, and we're all just growing together. So, Now, moving me into my how, which will always be a question that is down below in the description box if you're listening in on YouTube, and in the question box if you're listening in on Spotify, Anchor, or Apple Podcasts. Today, I asked, how do you perceive multitasking, and why, bro? Why? Okay, I perceive multitasking, and I've always perceived multitasking as like a challenge. I don't know if it's my fire energy. You know, if you don't know my placements, I got a Aries sun, Sag rising, and a Sag moon. So it gets real toasty over here, might I say. Okay? So I perceive multitasking and just having many different things on my plate as a challenge. You know what I'm saying? It's like, oh, say word. Say word. Word to who I can't do this. Say word right now, bro. Watch me do this thing right now. Gangsta. You know what I'm saying? Like, I don't know why I always perceived it as a challenge. I think I learned that from my mommy, but wherever I got that trait from, that's just always how I perceived multitasking. In shifting my reality these past couple of years, I want to say, it's caused me to really become specific about the things that I was pouring my energy into, because I feel like that's a reason, and that's a really big factor in why multitasking is a good way to measure your freedom. Because if the things that you're doing on a day-to-day basis do not make you feel free, do not make you feel like love, do not make you feel like happiness, you should stop giving your energy to that, because your energy is very valuable. You know what I'm saying? Like, you go into this job every single day and you're wondering why you feel so tired and you don't feel motivated to, do what you do best, which is either, make art, create, write some songs, draw a picture, whatever it is that you love to do. You feel me? Like, you'd be surprised you don't have no energy for that, because you have been spending your entire day giving your energy to something that is just not fulfilling you. It's not giving you back that same energy. It's not a job that you picked intentionally to give you and stimulate you in the way that you need in order for you to feel fulfilled at the end of the day. You know what I'm saying? All of your tasks should be like that. Everything that you indulge in should feel like love and should feel like happiness in order for you to feel the full spectrum of this human experience in the most comfortable way possible. So it is, so be it, Ashe. On that note, thank you so much for tuning into this episode of the Money Healing Monologues. I appreciate you. Please don't forget to like this episode, subscribe to the podcast, you know what I'm saying? Tap in with me on all platforms, Season Love, SENLUV, that's me. You feel me? And, don't forget to comment down below, answer the question for this week. I would love to hear your thoughts. Your opinion is valuable and it is valued here. Please know that. Okay. I'll see y'all in the next one, alright? I love you.